And so, Monday, let's go. Jumbo everyone, my name's Lindsey and I will be your safari guide to the Harambe Wildlife Reserve. This is a photo safari, so be sure to take lots of pictures. Just make sure to hold on tightly to those cameras as we cannot stop for anything that may fall off the truck. Now we're going to be going over some rough terrain and through some rough brush, and I don't want anyone getting hurt. So do me a favor and stay seated. Keep your hands and arms inside the truck the entire time that we're on the reserve. Little ones are more than welcome to sit on your lap. Just please keep them seated on one lap and one lap only. And please do not hold anyone up like Simba. We are not in the Lion King. But I love animals, so we're going to get this safari started. If you look over on the right, way in the corner, you can see an okapi. With their black and white striped legs, they look a lot like zebras. But they're actually the only living relative of the giraffe. Like the giraffe, okapis have very long tongues, theirs being about 13 inches. Okapis are very shy and reclusive animals. Find them alone or maybe in pairs. Usually alone. They're actually so reclusive they were once thought to be a myth. They were not discovered in the Western world until 1901. Up here on the left you can see some greater kudos. They are the second tallest antelope with their shoulders reaching up to about 5 feet. The males have long spirally horns, so those are females. Now this watering hole is usually a pretty good place to find some black rhinos, but finding them at all is very rare as they are critically endangered, meaning there's less than 5,000 black rhinos left in the entire world. And unfortunately it's our fault. Rhinos don't have any natural predators. Their biggest and pretty much only threat are humans, as they're being poached for their keratin horns. I'm not seeing any rhino activity just yet, so we're going to keep going, see if we can find any other animals. But keep your eyes open. If you see a big rock start to move, let me know. It's not a rock. Right up here on the left is a bongo, that copper animal. Now they're known as the ghosts of the forest because they like to hide. Their horns swoop backwards to allow them to run quickly and quietly through trees and bushes without getting all tangled up. But we are going to head out of the Ituri forest and down to the Safi River. The river is home to many aquatic animals, including the Nile hippos, who grow to be 11 feet long. They are herbivores, but they are the most dangerous creatures in all of Africa, as they are very territorial. They will not hesitate to let you know if you have crossed that line. Now my nocturnal friends down this way will spend most of the sunny days asleep underwater, hiding away from the sun. They can actually stay completely submerged for up to 8 minutes at a time. When their body needs air, they will float up to the top to get the air that they need. See one kind of out there. We usually have a little bit better luck up ahead on the left, so we're going to keep going. Find there. They'll come out on land usually at night when it's cooler and search for food, eating about 100 pounds of food every day. They'll travel up to 6 miles and search for food, but never more than 2 miles away from their home river. There's a whole bloat of hippos on the left. Yes, you heard that correctly. A group of hippos is called a bloat. They're born at about 85 pounds, and the males weigh up to 5,500 pounds. When they are on land, they can run at about 30 miles an hour, but only for short periods of time. On the island, here on the left, is a pod of pink-backed pelicans. They get their name from the pink feathers on their back during mating season. You can kind of see a little tint of pink on their backs. Hippos prefer to walk along the bottom of the water rather than swimming, as despite being aquatic animals, hippos are not very strong swimmers, so you tend to find them in shallower waters. It looks like the river gets a little shallower up this way. Maybe we'll find some more. Or maybe we'll find a float of Nile crocodile out on the left. They grow to be 18 to 20 feet long, which is as long as a giraffe is tall. You may see some of them with their jaws open. They do that to cool themselves down, though I'm glad we're up here, because one chomp of that jaw can crush up to 2,000 pounds per square inch. They stay still underwater for up to 2 hours at a time, and when on land, they can run at about 10 miles an hour. So can the average human. But I'm not average, so let's get out of here. Now, I was wrong when I said I loved animals before. I am crazy about animals and I want to find even more. It looks like we're headed to a different ecosystem. The trees are starting to thin out. Maybe we'll find some different animals. Speaking of different, it looks like someone may have planted this tree upside down over here on the right. It's actually a baobab tree, and those are its branches. The baobab tree goes leafless 9 months out of the year. They're nicknamed the upside down tree. Wow, now this is my favorite view of the reserve. We're headed into the Serengeti grasslands, which stretch out for hundreds and hundreds of miles. The Serengeti grasslands are on the migration path of many different animals. I wonder how many we'll find passing through today. Now, animals that live in the Serengeti grasslands have a very strong impact on each other as well as their surroundings. Elephants will come through and bulldoze down trees and branches to make room for the giraffes to come in and eat the leaves off the trees. That allows the sun to come down to hit the grass to help it grow, which is what the antelopes eat. And of course the antelopes help out the carnivores, but I'm actually going to let you figure that one out. But speaking of carnivores, if you look out on the left, back by that stone wall and in the cave here, there's some African wild dogs. They're nicknamed the painted dogs for their unique markings. While they are very cute, they're not the type of dogs you want to take home with you. They're the most successful hunters, even more than hyenas and big cats. To put it in perspective, a lion will catch their prey about 40% of the time, whereas African wild dogs will catch theirs up to 90%. And they hunt for the same things. These little antelopes out here on the left are springboks. They're only about 3 feet tall and they weigh less than 100 pounds. But from that standstill position, they can jump 6 feet in the air, called pronking. The other antelopes laying down there by the base of the tree in the shade are sable antelopes. They are the icon or the emblem of the Harambe Wildlife Reserve. Their horns grow to be about 45 inches long and they swoop up and backwards in efforts to deter any predators from coming and attacking them. Does anyone know what these orange cone-shaped mounds are around here? They're actually not antehills, but they are termite mounds. They're made up of dirt, dung, and the equivalent to termite saliva. It's gross, I know. They will bake long in the hot sun and eventually become as hard as concrete. They make for great scratching posts for larger animals such as cattle or elephants. And once they're rounded down or get knocked over and become piles, they are fantastic lookout posts for smaller animals like springboks. Now these giraffes here are just a little bit too close to the road for me to stop, but it looks like if we come right around here we should get a good view. Giraffes are born at about 6 feet and 150 pounds. They grow to be 18 to 20 feet tall, weighing around 2,000 pounds. Despite their necks being as long as they are, they have the same number of vertebrae as we do, 7. They also have really long tongues that are long enough to reach out and around and touch their ear at about 18 inches. Right over here on the right, the animal with the giant horns is an Ankole cattle. They are the largest domesticated animal, domesticated by the Watusi tribe. That's how they got their nickname, the Watusi cattle. Now, take a look at the rough edges on the giraffe's spots. That's how we know that they are Maasai giraffes. Each giraffe has its own unique pattern, just like we have our own unique fingerprints. Giraffes have the highest blood pressure of any mammal, and that's because they have such big hearts. They're about 2 feet long, and they weigh in at about 25 pounds. Coming up ahead here in the field is part of a herd of white-bearded wildebeest. I say part because their herds reach numbers of hundreds, even into the thousands. They have the largest and longest migration pattern, as each year 1.5 million of them will migrate 500 to 1,000 miles. They're known as GNU, G-N-U, for the grunting noise that they make. You can see some more of those Ankole cattle at the top of the hill. Those horns do look like they'd be pretty heavy, but they're not as heavy as you would think. While they grow to be about 5 feet long and can be up to 22 inches around at the base, they're made up of a honeycomb structure, so they're more or less hollow. They also have blood vessels circulating through them to help cool them down. Now we are going to head further into the savannah over to elephant country. So just a quick reminder that elephants have very sensitive hearing. They can actually hear each other from a mile away. So we want to be very respectful of that. Well, of course we want to get excited about elephants because elephants are so cool. We want to get super excited, super quietly. We don't want to disturb or startle them in any way. Now, to get to elephant country, we have to pass through my favorite area, Monkey Point. Got its name because a troop of mandrills, my favorite animal, found its home here. Mandrills are the largest and most colorful monkeys, with the red and blue markings on their face and their very colorful backsides. They do tend to be pretty shy though, so if you see them, do me a favor and point them out. Oh, I see some. Like they're all spread out here. Now, the biggest difference between male and female mandrills are their size. Males weigh between 60 to 100 pounds, whereas females weigh only about 25. Males are also a lot more colorful, and their colors are more vibrant to help show their dominance. Now, as excited as we are to find some elephants, some people not so much. Elephants are known for wreaking havoc on farms, eating everything, stomping on everything else, leaving pretty much everything unusable. Like this road that's closed, which means my shortcut's gone. Literally. Let's see here. Oh, they fixed the bridge back this way with some rope and duct tape. Duct tape fixes everything. As long as we go pulley or very slowly, we should be good to go. Now, where was I? Oh, right. Researchers have been working hard to find a solution to that problem, and they've discovered that elephants are afraid of bees. Some farmers will put beehives around the edges of their farms. As the elephants approach, the bees begin to buzz and scare the elephants away. It's a win-win situation, as elephants are no longer putting themselves in harm's way, and farmers have a new crop to sell. Okay, this bridge is making some weird noises. If I were you, I would hold on. And please stay very, very still. Okay. We're almost there. We made it. See, I told you there was nothing to worry about. I wasn't scared. You were scared. That tape really does fix everything. Oh, let's change the subject. There's a lot of red clay around here. Like a lot of it. Kind of makes me wonder if there's some task marks in it. Elephants love to eat the red clay as it's packed with nutrients. Now raise your hand if you love elephants. Raise your hand if you want to help save elephant habitats. Elephant habitats are unfortunately being mined for metallic ore called coltan. It's used in our electronic devices such as cell phones, tablets, and cameras. No, don't worry. I'm not going to ask you to give up your electronic device. I honestly couldn't ask myself to do that. What I am going to ask, though, is when you're done with it, whether it's broken or just time for something new, find a way to recycle them. A lot of cell phone stores and even grocery stores nowadays will have those resources readily available to you. That small action will make a big impact on the elephants' lives. Elephants are born at about 300 to 400 pounds, and the males weigh up to 6 tons or 1,200 pounds. They grow to be 11 to 14 feet tall, and the calves will stay with their moms for 13 to 15 years, making their childhood the second longest of any animal, second only to humans. You may notice some discoloration on their backs. That's going to be mud or dirt. Elephants have very sensitive skin and get sunburned quite easily, just like we do. But they don't make elephant sunscreen, at least not in the wild, so they will use whatever they can to form a natural protective layer between their sensitive skin and the sun's harmful rays. Usually ends up being mud. Looks like there's a flamboyance of flamingos up this way. Now these are the greater flamingos, which are the tallest and lightest shade of all 17 different species. Flamingos are actually hatched a grayish color. Looks like you can see some right down there, those little gray balls of fluff. Baby flamingos. It takes a full year of eating beta-carotene filled brine shrimp to get from that gray color to the pink coloration. If they were to stop eating brine shrimp, they would eventually go back to that original gray. Now these flamingos will grow to be about 5 feet tall if they're not there already, but weigh only about 9 pounds. The average lifespan of a flamingo is over 40 years. Now I'm seeing quite a bit of mud up this way, which means we are headed into white rhino territory. They like to roll around in the mud to cool themselves down. Unfortunately, though, white rhinos are still being poached, as some cultures believe that rhino horns have medicinal qualities and are able to cure diseases such as cancer. But we know that's not true, as rhino horns are made up of the same substance you'll find in our hair and fingernails, called keratin. Look out on the range, see an ostrich back there. Hopefully we're going to see him again. Ostriches are the largest bird in the world, but because of their large size, they are not able to fly. They do run quite fast though, about 40 miles an hour. They cover 10 to 13 feet in just one stride. Now, animals in this area do like to hang way back in the trees to kind of hide from us, so keep your eyes out and let me know if you see anything. They can be pretty hard to spot. Oh, up at the top of the hill, you can see a white spot right there. That's a cheetah lying down. Now, cheetahs are the fastest land mammal, reaching speeds of about 60 miles an hour in just about 3 seconds. Unfortunately, they can only hold that speed for a few hundred yards. Cheetahs are the only big cat to hunt during the day using their impeccable eyesight. They're also the only big cat that has the ability to purr. Their claws are blunt and non-retractable to help add friction while they're running. Now, around the corner here, there's a rock formation known as a copie. They're used by big cats to lay out in the sun and look out for their prey. They're most commonly used by lions, so they do tend to be pretty hard to find as they spend 16 to 20 hours a day inactive. Not necessarily sleeping, but they will lay out, rest, and conserve their energy so they're able to hunt at night. Now, these antelopes right here on the left are water bucks. They have really oily skin that kind of helps to waterproof them. It's actually really cool if you think about it. It allows them to get away from their predators by running through the water. The water won't slow them down like it will other animals. But because of this, they do have to drink more water than any other antelope. Now, it looks like there's quite a few animals coming up here on the right. We will see all of them again in just a moment. I want to talk about that brown and white antelope that's kind of walking away there. That's a bontabuck. There were once less than 20 of them left in the world until some farmers decided they didn't like that very much. So they put a fence around them and somehow that worked. They are now thriving on reserves, much like this one. The bontabucks are diurnal, just like we are, which means they sleep at night and are active during the day. Except the hottest part of the day, they will find a shady area to lay down and cool off. We get a pretty good view of some white rhinos up here. They're not actually white, as you can see. They got their name from a miscommunication. They were originally named white rhinos, white being an Afrikaans word meaning wide, for their wide, square mouths. And they are quite large. They weigh about 5,000 pounds, but they can still run at about 35 miles an hour. But it's okay. My trucker, they rhinos don't have very good eyesight. You can only see about 8 feet in front of them, but their hearing kind of makes up for it. Each ear will swivel individually to help find the source of the sound. Now with the brush starting to thicken out again, it means we are headed into Magadi Glen. There's a lot of water flowing through this area, so animals will stop by to rehydrate. But it's usually a pretty quiet area. No one hangs out for all too long. But let's check it out, see if we can find any animal activity. As we are entering the glen, please remember that I did say usually quiet because up on the top of the hill on the left, there's a couple of scimitar horned oryxes. They get their name from the scimitar-shaped horns, which is a sword most commonly used in the Middle East. They are desert animals and they can go up to 9 months without drinking any water. They get the water they need from the vegetation they eat, and they don't sweat until their bodies reach 115 degrees Fahrenheit. On the right, those white birds are yellow-billed storks. They are carnivores and they will eat anything small enough to fit in their bill as they are not able to chew. Things like fish, frogs, snakes, and even other small birds. They stand at about 3 feet tall and have a pretty impressive wingspan of about 5 feet. Now, those oryxes were once extinct in the wild, but because of reserves like this one, they were able to be reintroduced to the wild. While they are still on the endangered species list, we are working hard at getting them off of it. Well, friends, it's true what they say. Time really does fly when you're having fun. Unfortunately, it does look like our safari is coming to its end. Everyone say, aww. But did you guys have fun today? Awesome. Now think of all of the fun that you just had and come back and see us again. Because no two safaris are ever the same. It all depends on the animals. And make sure to check out our night safaris. Those are pretty cool. Once the sun goes down, the animals act differently and that makes for a different safari. If you didn't get to see some of your favorite African animals, have no fear. Head down Gorilla Falls Exploration Trail, where you can see some different animals such as zebras, meerkats, mole rats, and of course gorillas. You can also see some animals that we did get to see on the reserve, such as okapis, and there's even an underwater hippo viewing area. Take a look around you, make sure you're not going to forget anything. Things tend to shift as we went over some very bumpy roads, and I don't want you to leave anything behind. Hats, glasses, phones, cameras, keys, wallets, husbands, kids, anything. Now it is time for us to say goodbye, but here in Africa, we don't like to say goodbye. It's very sad and far too final. So we use a phrase that means go well, because we always want to see you again. And it's Kwaherini. Jumbo Alex. Holding.
Watch your fingers on the road, watch yourself down, and make sure you have all of your personal.
Kwaherini, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your day exploring the village of Harambe or wherever your wild travels may take you. If there were any wilderness explorers on board today, you were riding Simba 1.